Who is El Chueco of Chihuahua?
José Noriel Portillo Gil, also known as El Chueco, began his criminal career at a young age in the Sierra Tarahumara in the region of Chihuahua, Mexico. He initially worked as a hitman or a sicario for Los Salazar, a faction of the Sinaloa cartel that controlled drug trafficking routes in the region of Chihuahua. His involvement in the organized crime likely started with the small-scale operations such as enforcing cartel rules, collecting extortion payments, and participating in violent acts against rivals of those who oppose cartel interests. Over time, El Chueco gained respect for his brutality and ability to instill fear into his rivals, which helped him rise through the ranks. He eventually took control of his criminal operations in Urique, Chihuahua, a strategic area for drug trafficking and illegal activities like extortion and illegal logging. His leadership was marked by an extreme violence, including the high-profile murders of two priests in 2022, which ultimately led to a national manhunt against him. When El Chueco was in power, he built a network of drug trafficking, extortion, and illegal logging in the Sierra of Tarahumara. His group controlled marijuana and opium productions, which were trafficked through cartel routes. He also imposed his authority on local business, even controlling alcohol sales in some of those areas. As his power got bigger, so did his reputation for being an extreme violent man. He was known for executing rivals, killing civilians, and intimidating entire communities at one point. El Chueco started his mainline news in 2018 when he ordered the murder of an American tourist named Patrick Braxton Andrew, mistaking him as a DEA agent. Patrick was a 34-year-old Spanish teacher from North Carolina who loved traveling. In October 2018, he was exploring Mexico. As he was traveling to the Sierra Tarahumara, a region known for its landscaping and indigenous Ramirez community, he disappeared. On October 27, 2018, Patrick was last seen in Urique, a small town deep in the Sierra Tarahumara. He had left his hotel to go for a walk and he never returned. When he failed to check out for the next day, his family grew concerned and started a search for him. As the days passed by, Mexican authorities later confirmed that Patrick had been killed by El Chueco and his men. It is also believed that El Chueco mistook Patrick as a DEA agent or some kind of government informant due to his foreign appearance and presence in the region where he was taking the control of. Patrick's body was found on November 15, 2018, in a remote area near Urique. He had been shot and dumped in a shallow grave. Even after that, El Chueco still managed to evade authorities. El Chueco saw this impunity and thought he was free, so he kept acting like a crazy maniac. In 2022, El Chueco took it a step further that will evidently cause him his downfall. It all began with the first incident recorded on the morning of Monday, June 20. Days earlier, a team sponsored by José Noriel Portillo, El Chueco, had lost a baseball game. And the murders of the priest Javier Campos Morales, that was 79 years old, and Joaquín César Mora Salazar, that was 80, as well as the tour guide Pedro Elidoro Palma, which shocked national and international audiences, was all over a baseball game. It all began with an initial incident reported on the morning of Monday, June 20th. Days earlier, a team sponsored by José Noriel Portillo, known as El Chueco, had lost a baseball game. He was upset over the defeat. The criminal leader went to the home of the two players of the rival team, identified as Paul Osvaldo and Armando Barreyesa, on Monday to complain. However, at one point, the situation spiraled out of control. El Chueco shot at Paul and proceeded to kidnap Armando. He then set the house on fire. After murdering Paul Osvaldo and kidnapping Armando Barrellesa, as well as setting fire to the building where both players were staying at, El Chueco moved a few hours later to the Hotel Misión Jerocahui, where the tour guide Pedro Palma was forcibly removed by the criminal leader after an argument. The tour guide managed to escape from El Chueco. He ran for help in the church San Francisco Javier, where the priest Javier Campos and Joaquin Cesar attempted to help him. The priest tried to defend the tour guide, who was beaten up already and was scared for his life. When El Chueco arrived to the church, the priest tried to defend the tour guide and tried to tell him that in the holy house you could not do those type of things. However, the efforts were in vain. In front of the church, El Chueco killed Pedro Iliodoro, who was a tour guide, and not happy with himself, the leader of the Gente Nueva, the armed wing of the Sinaloa cartel in Chihuahua, also murdered both of the priests who tried to help the tour guide. And after 2 days of searching the bodies of the two priests and the tour guide, they were located on Wednesday, June 22. And that same day, the Chihuahua's prosecutor office announced it would offer a 5 million peso award for any information leading to the capture of El Chueco. The murders that El Chueco did sparked an outcry across Mexico and the world. The Catholic Church condemned the killings, and the Mexican government vowed to bring El Chueco to justice. A manhunt followed him, but El Chueco knew the mountains very well. He vanished into the rugged terrain, evading capture for months. Eventually, in March 2023, his reign of terror ended. Authorities found his lifeless body. Allegedly, he was executed by his own cartel, either as betrayal or to stop him for his own good already. He was heating up the waters in Chihuahua too much. But in Urique and Jerocahui, the memory of his crimes still lingers on. On the baseball fields, where two promising athletes lost their lives, and in the church, where two priests paid the ultimate price for their faith, and defending a tour guide who was executed for simply being around El Chueco. As of now, El Chueco is no longer terrorizing the small town of Urique, Chihuahua, or the indigenous regions of the Tarahumara Sierra in Chihuahua. However, somebody new is probably doing the same that he was doing. These small indigenous areas have been abused and continue to be abused to this day, and the government turns a blind eye to them. This has been the story of El Chueco, the man who terrorized a whole indigenous community just because the impunity of Mexico let him do it.